Well, hello again, friends. My name is Reverend Thomas Harper, and I'm the pastor of First United Methodist Church in Quitman, Texas. And this is Weekly Theistic Reflections, where each week I take a verse of scripture and I talk about it a little bit. I've entitled this episode, "The Lord Has Heard Thy Affliction." Scripture that I picked for today is Matthew 5:16. "In that same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." So, word of God for us, the people of God. Thanks be to God. The Lord has heard thy affliction. It's a difficult story in the Old Testament where Abram and Sarai are under the covenant of God, and God has promised to make his descendants like the stars. But the only problem is there is no children in the household to be descendants, and they are getting fairly old. Abram is 99 years old, and Sarai is way past the age where women would be able to have children. And so in order to try to make God's promise of a great nation come to pass, they decide to go outside of their marriage. Abram sleeps with his servant Hagar and bears a son named Ishmael. And so God reminds Abraham and Sarah that the covenant was not to be between him and Hagar. It was to be between the husband and wife of Abraham and Sarah. And he fulfills that covenant when Abraham, in fact, gives birth to his son, Isaac. But the story of Hagar and Ishmael is an interesting one. After Isaac is born, Sarah wants the servant and the child to go away. Abram relents and dismisses his servant and his firstborn child, and they go off into the desert. Lost, rejected, and afraid, Hagar abandons her child because she can't bear to watch her child die. And then God sends an angel to Hagar and says, "Hagar, don't worry. God has not abandoned you. Even though this was not a part of God's plan, God has still heard thy affliction, and he will provide for you and for your son." I think it's really important for us to remember that even when things don't go according to the plan, God doesn't give up on us. Even when we're a product of something that's outside of God's covenant, God says, "No, I see you. I hear you. I will provide for you. I have heard your affliction. You are not alone." Here's a question that I want you to ponder. How does God's treatment of the outcast frame our understanding of his heart? While you're here, why don't you check out this video. It's a video I entitled, "What You Meant for Evil." And in it, it tells the story of Joseph and his brothers and how the long journey of the youngest of 12 children made their way from slavery to second in command to the most powerful empire in the world at the time in Egypt. And how God used trials and tribulations in Joseph's life, things that were meant to be evil against him, and turn them into great opportunities for good. If you'd like to see more on that conversation, I'd like you to check out that video. If you are in the East Texas, Northeast Texas area, the Tyler-ish area, I'd like you to check us out. We have a worship service every single Sunday morning at 8:30 and 11 a.m. We also live stream right here via YouTube and Facebook. So you get an idea of past services and kind of what we're about. But if you're in the area, I'd love to get to know you. I would love to do life and ministry with you. But until next time, friends, know that things don't always go according to the plan. And sometimes the things that we see are not a result of how God intended for them to be. But even when things go wrong, God does not leave or forsake us. God still hears our affliction in the wilderness, does not abandon or give up on us. And so know that God hears you in your trials. Until next time, friends, continue to love one another well. Take care.